everyone. This is my daughter's here with me. This is Elisa from Inaya's Toy Box Crochet, and I wanted to talk about how you can join your pieces without sewing. So for example, well, not for everything, like you will still have to sew on this head, but for most of the pieces where they say for the arm, leave a long tail for sewing, leave a long tail for sewing, whatever piece it is, there is a way you could actually crochet it on. I like doing this for two reasons. One, I don't like to sew pieces on. And two, because it makes a sturdier piece. If it is crocheted on, it is less likely to rip off than if you just sew it. So it might rip off. Not likely, but it happens. So that's why I like to crochet it on. And I'm going to show you how to crochet it on my fox pattern. Now, just to be clear, I did not write down these instructions on the pattern because I'm a very visual person, and for me to know how long I need to make the arms, or in this case, how long I need to make the tail, I kind of need to have the piece in front of me. I need to hold it beside the piece and say, okay, this is long enough, or this isn't long enough, and work on it. I am not the type of person who will work up a body and say, okay, well, I'm estimating the body will take this amount of stitches, and because it's taking this amount of stitches, I need to make the arms this long and make the arms first. Also, at the end of designing, I'm usually done with the pattern. I mean, I frogged it so many times to get the shape right that I am done, and I don't want to make another one to just show a demonstration on how to attach the limbs together without sewing. So I am showing you this video to show you how you can do this with this fox pattern, but it will work with anyone's pattern, any pattern at all. So the first thing you have to do is you take your piece, it's gonna say, you know, do your last round, whatever round it is, and it says fasten off, leave a long tail for sewing. So you have to look carefully at the piece, but most of the time you can get away with this, doing this, which is adding an extra row. This is not an extra row on this pattern. I actually did write the pattern like this. And closing it off, which means you kind of pinch it together and you go through 2 stitches at one time to close off the top.
Is it like a double crochet?
No, it's a single crochet.
Oh.
You single crochet all the way through, but you take two stitches at one time. It's sort of like a decrease, but not a decrease, because you're going from one side of the piece to the other, so you're going across. Like, for example, if I were to show you this is really stuffed, you can't really pinch it, but if you pinch it together and this was an arm, you would do this. Okay, I'll show you in the middle. So you would work until you'll do these 2 stitches together. You just single crochet them close. Very easy to do.
Are you going to close that one?
No, that's going to be sewn on as it is. Very, very easy to do. So this is the first step. For this pattern, this is part of the pattern. Then you crochet your body to whatever row that they say you should put in the tail. So I'm at the row where you're supposed to put on the tail. Unfortunately, I'm working with velvet yarn, and oh my gosh, it is so difficult to see the stitches. I have stitch markers on every stitch. This has actually slowed me down. I am supposed to be finished this project already because my son's birthday is tomorrow. I'm going to be working late into the night to finish this.
My brother's turning 5.
Yeah, he's turning 5. Anyways, no more sad news. Let's talk about this. Well, it's also happy news. It's great to see all the different stages in children.
Yeah.
Except for maybe the stage that she's entering soon, which is teenage. But anyways, here we are. This is what you do. You're not going to have stitch markers like I do, but let me take off these stitch markers. Unless you're working with velvet yarn, you might want to. That's totally up to you. Okay, so you take your yarn. This is the stitch I'm going to start attaching the tail to. And this one right here is the first stitch where I just took off the stitch marker. So you're going to put first, you're working on this, your yarn is still attached to this piece. This is your hook, still attached as though you're still going into the next stitch. But you're not going into, well, you are, but not really. First, before you go into the next stitch, you're going to put your hook through there, and then you will go into the next stitch. which I hope to be stable. You go into the next stitch. See, both the tail stitch and the body stitch is on my hook. Do you notice that? So all you do now is just single crochet, and you do this all the way across. I am not going to do this all the way across because I really have to stretch out for you guys to see this video, and it's really uncomfortable.
And
but I'll do
a ton of stitch markers in your way.
Yeah, there is a bunch of stitch markers in my way, but that's not the reason. I just have to stretch out in an uncomfortable way to do it. But I'm going to show you a couple more stitches. So then you put your hook through the tail and then through the body, and work as though you're just making a regular, I can't even find the stitch.
Oh.
Work as though you're making a regular single crochet, as though you're not doing anything special. You're just making a single crochet. You're just going through the tail first. And at the end of this, you'll continue working on your pattern. And you'll have a tail hanging there just like you have legs hanging here. And it's going to be fine. And when you're finished, you're going to have this nice, strong, sturdy piece because the tail is actually crocheted on. Your child can pull on the tail, can carry it around with the tail, and you're not going to worry. You're not going to think, oh my gosh, did I crochet that tight enough? You're not going to have to think that because, did I sew that tight enough? You won't have to think that because it's going to be an actual part of the body. This also reduces your sewing, which is great. I am all for reducing the amount of sewing I have to do.
I like sewing.
Not this type of sewing. This type of sewing is a little different than just sewing fabric.
Okay.
So this is how the tail will look. And obviously I will do a whips and faux soon. So I heard someone call it faux, but I feel kind of weird saying it. F-O. I will do a whip and F-O or finished objects soon. And when I do, you're going to see this fox all put together. I'm going to do the same thing to the arms. So when I get to the point where the arms are supposed to be attached, I will be putting them to the side of the body like that and attaching it the exact same way as I did the tail. It's going to go like that. Here, let me put it so it's facing you. It's going to be like this. Can you see it all? And the head will be on top. I don't think you could see everything. And it'll look great. And it'll be really sturdy. Now, I still do have to sew this head on.
It'll be adorable.
I hope so. I hope you guys think so too. I still do have to sew the head on. The reason I make it so I have to sew the head on is because when I make dolls, I make them in one piece, working from the feet all the way to the top of the head. And then any mess that occurs here gets covered up when you put your hair in. But on animals, they don't. Another reason is this is a no-sew ear too, and you can't do that if you're working up. You have to work down to have the no-sew ear. So that's why this pattern, those are the two reasons this pattern used to have to sew on the head. But if you do it like this, you only have to sew on one thing instead of four things. I have a question. 2 arms, a tail, and a head. Yeah?
So does lighting help with the struggle of velvet yarn?
Not really. Velvet yarn, it's just really hard to see the stitches. And I don't think it has anything to do with the lights. It's just because it kind of blends in together. And it's just hard to find it.
I'm just wondering because lighting helps with black apparently.
It does help with black. Okay, but anyways, that's it for the video. I hope you find it instructional and try it out and see if you like it. I hope you do.
Enjoy it.
I hope you like it, and I hope you have fun and enjoy not having to sew and having a sturdier piece. Goodbye for now. Bye.